Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please hit the subscribe. Now this start video. The Judgment Day faction appears to be facing turbulence following their loss of the World Tag Team Championships during tonight's episode of WWE Raw. The main event concluded with Finn Balor and JD McDonagh being dethroned by the War Raiders, a result heavily influenced by Damian Priest's interference. The shocking outcome has left the group's dynamic in question and seemingly strained relationships between its members. The match itself was hard-fought, as Balor and McDonagh put on an intense display to try and retain the titles. However, tensions among Judgment Day members may have led to their undoing. Priest's interference, intended to help, ultimately backfired, giving the War Raiders the opening they needed to claim victory. With the title change finalized, Judgment Day's position at the top of WWE's Raw roster has been shaken, and cracks within the faction are starting to surface. JD McDonagh's reaction to the loss was unconventional and candid. Shortly after Raw went off the air, the Irish star took to his official X/Twitter account to reveal how he coped with the crushing defeat. McDonagh posted an image of his surprising meal, a McDonald's feast consisting of 10 chicken nuggets, a triple cheeseburger, and a Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. For someone known for maintaining peak physical fitness, the order stood out as an uncharacteristic and symbolic move. Alongside the picture, McDonagh delivered a concise, one-word caption that encapsulated his emotions perfectly: grief. The post not only showcased McDonagh's lighthearted approach to dealing with the title loss, but also highlighted an unspoken frustration among the Judgment Day camp. His caption, while simple, spoke volumes. In wrestling circles, defeats can have profound impacts, especially when titles are at stake. For a dominant faction like the Judgment Day, this setback could signify the start of deeper issues within the group. Adding to the humor, McDonagh later joked about the healthier component of his post-match meal. In a witty explanation, he pointed out that he had ordered a Coca-Cola Zero Sugar to maintain his figure. Fans familiar with JD McDonagh and Finn Balor's incredible physiques found the comment amusing, as the duo are among WWE's most disciplined athletes. Nevertheless, McDonagh's humor masked a more serious undertone. The team has to regroup and recover after the shocking loss. This defeat also raises significant questions about Judgment Day's internal stability. Damian Priest's role in the team's downfall could have far-reaching consequences. While the interference might not have been intentional sabotage, Priest's involvement during the match exposed fractures in the faction's unity. These issues have been simmering for weeks, with subtle disagreements emerging between the group's members. Balor and McDonagh, who share a long-standing alliance rooted in their Irish heritage, are increasingly finding themselves at odds with Priest and other members like Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. Finn Balor, a founding member of Judgment Day and one of WWE Raw's most accomplished superstars, may not take this loss lightly. Known for his pride and competitive drive, Balor is unlikely to let the matter slide without addressing the situation. Fans are already speculating about a potential confrontation between Balor and Priest, which could play out over the coming weeks. If tensions escalate further, it wouldn't be surprising to see Balor challenge Damian Priest in a one-on-one match to resolve their differences. JD McDonagh, as Balor's protege and loyal ally, will likely stand by the prince in any ensuing fallout. However, the faction's internal strife might complicate matters. Judgment Day has always operated as a unit, with each member playing a unique role in the group's success. Damian Priest's imposing presence and dominance, Dominic Mysterio's opportunistic mindset, and Liv Morgan's cunning have all contributed to the faction's status as Raw's top heel group. However, Balor and McDonagh's tag team struggles could weaken the group's cohesion moving forward. The timing of this setback couldn't be worse for Judgment Day. WWE Raw's landscape is constantly evolving, with multiple teams vying for the spotlight. The War Raiders' triumph over Balor and McDonagh marks a significant shift in the tag team division, and it solidifies them as legitimate threats to the Red brand. The Viking duo's victory wasn't just a win for themselves, but also a statement to the rest of the roster. Judgment Day's dominance is no longer guaranteed. As for the faction's future, the coming weeks will be critical. WWE fans will be watching closely to see whether the Judgment Day can recover from this loss, or whether it will mark the beginning of the end for the group. Internal rivalries and mistrust have spelled doom for countless factions in WWE history, and the Judgment Day could be headed down a similar path if they fail to resolve their issues. Finn Balor and JD McDonagh's next moves will be pivotal. The two Irishmen share undeniable chemistry, having worked together both in WWE and on the independent circuit. Their bond is one of the strongest elements of the Judgment Day, and it could serve as the glue holding the faction together during this tumultuous time. However, if tensions with Damian Priest and the rest of the group continue to escalate, Balor and McDonagh may have to consider their loyalties and priorities. The possibility of a split within Judgment Day remains on the table, but WWE has plenty of options for storytelling. If Balor and Priest do collide in the ring, it could be a blockbuster match with significant consequences for the faction's future. Meanwhile, JD McDonagh's role in the group remains intriguing. As a relatively new member, his allegiance to Balor could complicate the faction's internal dynamics further, particularly if Priest or Dominic Mysterio begins to question his loyalty. While this loss is undoubtedly a setback for Judgment Day, it also opens up new opportunities for growth and development. WWE thrives on storytelling rooted in conflict and redemption, and Judgment Day's current predicament has the potential to deliver compelling television. Whether the group finds a way to resolve its issues or implodes entirely, fans are in for an exciting ride. The ripple effects of tonight's events are likely to shape WWE Raw's narrative for weeks to come. For Finn Balor, JD McDonagh, and the rest of Judgment Day, the road ahead will not be easy. The War Raiders have proven that they are a force to be reckoned with, and other tag teams will be eager to capitalize on the chaos within Raw's top heel faction. In the immediate aftermath of tonight's loss, JD McDonagh's humorous grief meal may have lightened the mood, but the underlying issues remain. Judgment Day's dominance has been challenged, and their unity has been called into question. As WWE's top heel group, they now find themselves at a crossroads. Whether they rise above this setback or allow internal strife to consume them remains to be seen. One thing is certain: WWE Raw just got a lot more interesting. As the weeks progress, all eyes will be on Judgment Day and how they handle the fallout from their loss. A potential conflict between Finn Balor and Damian Priest could offer some of the most intense and engaging storylines WWE fans have seen in recent months. Both men are seasoned veterans with vast experience, and a feud between them would not only elevate the stakes for the faction, but could also create a series of compelling matches that shake up WWE Raw's hierarchy. If Balor and Priest go head-to-head, the emotional weight of their rivalry could push them to deliver unforgettable performances. On one hand, you have Balor, who has experienced great success in WWE, both as a former Universal Champion and a key figure in the formation of the Judgment Day. His pride and desire to maintain his status as a top superstar will be tested by Priest, who, despite his allegiance to the faction, has proven himself to be a powerful and unpredictable force. The tension between them could turn personal, as Priest's interference in the tag team title match could be seen as a sign of disrespect or a challenge to Balor's leadership. Meanwhile, JD McDonagh's involvement in this drama cannot be overlooked. As Balor's loyal ally, McDonagh could be forced to choose sides in this brewing conflict. If the rift between Balor and Priest deepens, McDonagh might find himself in the middle of the situation, either offering support to Balor or trying to keep the peace within the Judgment Day. His actions could significantly influence the group's future and the way they are perceived by the WWE Universe. Another crucial element will be how Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan respond to the internal tension within their faction. Dominic has often been portrayed as a wild card, with a sense of entitlement that could easily lead to further divisions in the group. Liv Morgan, on the other hand, has been a more subtle influence, adding a layer of manipulation that might come into play as the conflict unfolds. Her unpredictable nature could add to the uncertainty of the Judgment Day's future, making her presence an important factor to consider as tensions rise. At this juncture, the possibility of a split within Judgment Day is more than just a speculative idea. If the group fractures, it would create a significant power vacuum in WWE, especially on Raw, where they have dominated as the top heel faction for so long. The question then becomes, what would the fallout look like? If Balor and McDonough part ways with Priest, could they form a new alliance, or would they go their separate ways entirely? Likewise, would Priest stand alone, or seek out new allies to regain his strength? One thing is clear, the road ahead will be rocky for Judgment Day. They've always thrived on unity, and their dominance in WWE Raw has been built on their collective power. With the loss of the tag team championships and the growing tension within their ranks, it's unclear whether they can bounce back or whether this will be the beginning of the end. Fans are sure to remain glued to their screens, eager to see how this drama unfolds in the coming weeks. Ultimately, the story of Judgment Day will evolve, and WWE will continue to explore the dynamics between the faction's members. With so much at stake, it's hard to predict what direction they will take. Whether they mend their broken alliances or collapse under pressure, Judgment Day's next steps will undoubtedly shape WWE Raw's narrative and keep fans on the edge of their seats.